Alright, I got something special for you today. This guy right here, this is the Sirius Amplification Sweet Lucy Overdrive 100. This is a reworked circuit, that of the original Soldano SLO 100. So if you're looking for a boutique amplifier that's 100 watts, that can cover pretty much everything from clean to crunch to a high gain overdrive tone, this will be the amplifier to go for. This is handmade point to point here in Melbourne, Australia. And I'm going to link down to Sirius Amplification down in the description so you can check out the insides of this. It's absolutely stunning. If you're a big fan of hand-wired amps, I think you're in for a bit of a treat. Before we get into it, a huge thank you to Alex from Sirius Amplification for the loan of this. I don't get to keep it, no money's changed hands, and all thoughts about this will be my own. And I'll give you my thoughts about it at the end of the video. Let's get into it. Now, while this is very visually an SLO 100, it's been tweaked and modified, and I'll cover a few of those points right now. So this is a rework circuit based on the Soldano SLO 100 using the latest components for a modern and more reliable switching experience. There's tweaked and modified component values to remove some of the harshness and fizziness that were found in the SLO 100, and it also doesn't have the same issue with channel bleed. So if that was always an issue for you with the original, this has been improved. This amp's hand-wired with point-to-point wiring to all off-board components using clear heat shrink to pure copper wire. So if you're an electronics nerd, you'll probably get a kick out of that. Additionally, we get a custom hand-wound output transformer, custom handcrafted Tolex head cabinet built from Baltic pine. So he not only makes these cabinets, but he also does all of the Tolex work, and this Tolex is super high quality. We get a relay bypassable LND 150 effects loop for a more transparent loop over the original. We get a quartet of 58 81 power tubes and 5 12 AX7 preamp tubes. We get high quality components such as orange drop capacitors to stay true to the original design. There's also a bright cap switching for both normal and overdrive channels, which allows for really great versatility in terms of tone. Alex from Sirius Amplification dropped this off, and a 40 watt combo, which I've already reviewed, and I'll link up in the cards if you haven't seen that. You can watch it after this video, but this amplifier right here will be a fan favorite for many people who love that Soldano sound but want an improved circuit. So I can't wait to get into it. Let's do it. All right, let's kick it off. We're going to start with the clean channel on this amplifier. Now I have the preamp gain set up to about 4 and the output volume set to 12 o'clock. So it's quite loud. You can see where the rest of the settings are. This is with the bright switch currently on. Neck pickup, here we go. So it's nice and bright with that bright switch on. And now with the bright switch off, so this is just the normal setting. I can see the bright switch off being great if you want to get it sort of like an old school bluesy sound. Beautiful. Over to the crunch setting on the amplifier now, and I've just turned the preamp gain on the normal channel down. This still uses that as the preamp, and our output volume is still where it was before, but I'm going to start with my volume control down now. Here we go. A little bit more on the volume. And all the way up. I mean, that's shaking the walls in here, but that's that beautiful off clean tone that's really hard to get, especially at loud volumes like this, so it's doing it really well. And now with the preamp gain cranked up to 7, I've put the bright switch on and I've just turned down the output volume because it's even a little bit too loud for this guy who does this all the time. Great sound, but man, it's shaking the walls literally in here. Well, the blinds are going like this, so let's give it a shot. I mean, that's such a nice sound. You could play that all day. Just use your volume control to get it to clean up. It's still loud, even with it turned down. Let's have a listen to the Overdrive channel, starting with the Overdrive gain control most of the way down, and the output volume is pretty low, but it's still really loud. It'd be pushing 98, maybe 100 dB in here, even with the gain control down. So yeah, if you're wondering if this is a good home amp, these are the kind of tones you get at home where the cops get called. Anyway, let's give this a shot. We're going to be on both pickups. I definitely like the bright switch on this channel. It just opens up the sound of the humbuckers. But if you're playing a Strat or a Telecaster, for example, or a single coil guitar, Super Strat, whatever the case may be, you might want to turn that bright switch off. And now with the gain cranked up a little bit more and the volume just back a little bit, I'm also just going to notch up the presence control. Have a listen to this on bridge pickup. Now, one thing I have noticed about this amp, even with the Overdrive output volume low, so not as loud as gig volume or whatever, it still has a nice low end to it. It doesn't sound thin or anything like that in the room. It's really quite loud. And lastly, now with the gain cranked up to 7 o'clock, I've got the Overdrive master output volume just down a hair. Have a listen to this on bridge pickup. Alright, let's wrap this video up. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the Sirius Amplification Sweet Lucy Overdrive 100. It's been a while since I played a 100 watt amplifier at a home. I don't remember the last time I did it. Probably was a twin possibly or something like that. I'm not too sure, but man, this thing sounds unbelievable. I think the star of the show for me is not only how musical that Overdrive channel is and just how much gain you get out of it, but that crunch setting over here on the normal channel, that sounds so good to my ear. That's the kind of sound I could play all day just using my volume control. Now the clean tone is very impressive out of this. It has just so much headroom. So if you just want a dead clean kind of sound, you can get it out of that. But that crunch setting to my ear for the kind of music that I play, being a big fan of Knopfler and blues stuff, all that kind of thing, really sounds great to my ear. When you're talking about this Overdrive channel, it's balls to the wall overdrive. So even with the gain most of the way down like I showed you, it's still extremely dirty. And I think that's why a lot of people will buy this, is for that Overdrive channel. I think for a hand-wired amplifier that has so much to offer, made in Australia and with all of the great components that are in here, I think this is a no-brainer for the right customer. This isn't something that you would use at home to practice through necessarily. But if you want to record or play on a big stage, this thing would be an absolute fire breather. It really does sound great. I know the price point of this amplifier won't be for everybody, but if you're in the market for a handmade 100 watt amplifier that has some of the best tones I've tried, give this guy a look. I would love to hear this through a 4x12 in a room that isn't as small as this, man. I think it would absolutely cook. And if you want to check this out, I'll link it down below. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. I'll catch you soon. See ya.